Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Crafty with Kay video. If you guys are new here, my name is Karen, and if you guys are not new here, I thank you so much for being here. We're just gonna jump right into today's video because if it's not me putting it off, it's life getting in the way and we have no more time to waste. Today we are going to be making one of these blankets, and do we know how to make a blanket? No, but are we gonna learn? Most definitely. I have been feeling a little nervous about this just because I have never even sewn anything before, but we're crafty. There's just like nothing we can't do, right? And I'm just gonna start by showing you guys what I got. Most importantly, my customer brought me a bag full of her son's baby outfits, and this is going to be one side of our blanket. Then we have our cotton batting, and this is the middle layer of our blanket sandwich. It is so soft and will help with warmth. The other side of our blanket will have this adorable Winnie the Pooh fabric, and this was actually picked out by my customer. Moving on to all the little things that'll help the process of making our blanket, like satin blanket binding, a pink rotary cutter, a big box of jumbo safety pins, a seam ripper, quilting rulers. This pack came with 4 different sizes, so I thought that was really cool. Our interfacing, fabric scissors, a pack of mini clips, a large quilting ruler, and most importantly, our sewing machine. I am using the Brother SE 1900, and funny enough, it's the first time I use it for sewing, as it also switches over to an embroidery unit. I'm so scared. I have watched a YouTube video hundreds of times to try to get an idea and get the hang of how to make a blanket. So shout out to Heartfelt by Charlie. I thought that was the most helpful video out of all of the ones I have seen. As much as I feel scared to make a blanket, I also feel ready. I would say first step is to take out these baby onesies. They're so tiny, oh my goodness. It's good to see and count how many outfits there are total, that way I can get an idea of how big our blanket will be. Oh my goodness! Look how cute this is! Stop it right now. Wow. Again, I am so shook at the amount of onesies we have. Alexis, if you are seeing this, thank you so much. So I see we do have plenty of onesies, but they are fairly small. In the example video, I know Charlie uses a 6-inch square. I'm a little nervous to use this one just because I'm not sure if all of them will be 6 inches, so I'm thinking of maybe using a 4-inch one. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna cut these up first and then we'll see what sizing is best. So initially, this is what we want all our fabric to look like, just one flat piece. And we are finally done. All our onesies are cut up here, and then over here we have all our scrap pieces. By the looks of it, it looks like we're gonna have to go with our 4-inch square rather than our 5 because we do have a lot of small pieces. I'm just gonna make sure all of them fit the 4 before we go ahead and cut our stabilizer along with our onesies. Before we go ahead and cut our squares out, we do have to add this backing to our fabric, so let's do that. Not counting the back sides of our onesies, I know I have about 20 pieces of fabric, so I'm gonna cut out 20 of these little backings. Now that we are done cutting up our squares, we're gonna go ahead and plug in our mini iron, that way it can start heating up, and we can start adding our interface material to our fabric. We are going to repeat this step until all of our pieces of fabric have a backing. And we are all done. All our fabrics now have a backing, but one thing to point out is I think I will end up getting a black colored backing just because our white garment, it's kind of hard to see where we placed it on here. But now that these are done, we're gonna go ahead and open up our rotary blade. That way we can go ahead and start trimming our fabric. So like every other process, we're just gonna keep repeating this until we have finished cutting out all our squares. You know when you like put a project off for so long because you're like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, I don't want to do it, what if I mess up, blah blah blah. But then once you like start getting into the groove of things and you start seeing it like actually work, you're like, that is exactly how I'm feeling. I started putting all the little cutouts together to see what it would look like once we sew it together, and it is looking so freaking cute. I'm gonna keep going. I just finished making 10 more little squares, so let's go ahead and add that to our table and see if that makes our blanket a little bit bigger. I'm actually very happy with the sizing of this. I think it's perfect for a baby blanket. So now I'm gonna go ahead and prep our embroidery machine and get to sewing. I'm so scared, but the moment we have all been waiting for, I have my first little line of squares, so we are going to sew them together. Let's see how it goes. Grabbing this first piece, I'm gonna flip it around like this. Then grab our second piece and align it. I do see a little bit of excess, so I'm just gonna cut that off. Now that they are aligned into the machine, they go. Okay, so this is what our first one looks like. It's not too bad. I did notice that it was unaligned a little bit right here. So I'm just gonna try to go over it one more time, just a little bit more further away from the ends, and see if that'll hold up better. Slow and steady, that way we don't mess up. And yay, she came out so cute. So now we are just going to keep doing the same thing and add our other little squares. Ta-da! And now we have 3. So you guys kind of get the gist. We're just adding all these little seams together. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do that to all the rest that I have, which might take me a while. So I will see you guys in a little bit. That's what that looks like. So now to do 5 more rows. We have finally finished all our rows. Now that they are all attached vertically, now we have to sew them horizontally. That way we can get a full piece of fabric. So starting with this one here, I'm gonna grab our next piece of fabric and align all our seams together. This is the time where I'll open up our little clips that I had shown you guys earlier. That way we can clip them and make sure they stay in place. If you see here, when I align them, my fabrics aren't aligning too well here, but I'm just gonna keep pinning and hope for the best and see how it comes out. Now that we have her all pinned up, let's go ahead and run her through the machine. Yep, I'm nervous. Okay, let's remove our pins. Put this up. We now have our 2 rows connected, and I think it looks pretty good. I was kind of being hard on myself because these don't align too good, but for my first time, I definitely give myself credit because this is coming out pretty good. So let's attach our others. Well, my camera died, so I wasn't able to record the last 2 rows, but this is what our blanket looks like. I'm super impressed. I am loving the way this is looking already, but we are not completely finished just yet because we still need 2 parts of this blanket sandwich. Now for the back side of our blanket, we are doing this Winnie the Pooh design that I showed you guys earlier. So we're gonna go ahead and lay it out and see how much fabric we need. I almost missed this step, but we are going to iron down the seams of our blanket. That way it's not too bulky when we're sewing all the fabrics together. Okay, back to business. We're gonna move this out of the way. So now that we have our regular fabric laid out like this, it is time for our batting. It's fluffy. So we're gonna lay that on top like this. And this is why I called it a sandwich. We can add the top of our blanket. I just realized that our fabric side up is facing the opposite way. But instead of moving all of this, I'll put this back, put our batting fabric back, and just move this way. Okay, no, I got it wrong. The other way. Please bear with me. Now that our layers are good, we have to make sure everything is flattened. Now to connect all these, we obviously have to sew it together. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these safety pins to safety pin every single square here. That way I know that it stays in place. Now that most of all our squares have their safety pins, I think we can take this into the machine now. But I'm left with so much excess batting here, so I think I'm allowed to trim it, maybe, but I'm gonna do it. I'm scared. But we got this, we got this. In the tutorial, she says it's better to roll up your blanket like this. That way it's easier to place into the machine. And like I mentioned earlier, my squares aren't so aligned, so I don't know, sewing this is gonna be interesting. Here goes nothing. All right, I feel like we're going good. It's just kind of hard to keep a straight line when I don't have a straight line to go off of. I'm not sure if that's gonna be bad, but we're here and we're doing it. And we are done. Not sure if you can see our little seam here, but you can see that I'm not going as straight as I would like to. But then again, our squares aren't even aligned, so that may be the reason why. But I hope at the end it just comes out good. Our second seam was much easier, as you guys can see, but that's because this row is straighter. So now I'm just gonna keep doing horizontal lines and then vertical. I think I did that opposite, but you got the gist. And we are getting somewhere. Here is a blanket update. I just finished doing all the seams going that way and this way. And then this is what it looks like in the back. As you guys can see, it kind of looks like a quilt, because it is. But that's good, right? Because this is our first quilt. So now our next step is to trim our quilt. And we are going to be using this 24-inch ruler. That way it helps us keep a straight line. But before we do anything, I'm gonna go ahead and take out all our safety pins. I'm gonna make sure that our cutting mat is under so I don't cut my table cover. Grabbing my ruler, I'm going to line it up here with one of my seams. I feel like this is the straightest I could get my ruler, so I'm gonna take my rotary blade and just trim everything that I can. I think I need a bigger cutting mat because I keep cutting my tablecloth on my table. Wow! And we got our little quilt. She looks so cute. I wish I can tell you guys that we are all finished, but we have one more step, and that's to add our satin blanket binding. So for this last step, I'm gonna go ahead and turn our quilt to the other side. Grabbing our binding here, I'm gonna go ahead and line it up with our edge here. Now that my binding is aligned, I'm gonna take my little clips and clip it together. That way it can stay in place while I transfer it to my embroidery machine. And now that these are clipped to the sewing machine, we go. I think we are good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the machine. Now that we have reached our end here, she says to bring our binding back like this. And then we're able to just bring this back. Okay, I think I'm having a hard time because if you guys could see right here, it's not aligned. So we're just gonna try to make it work. Okay, I feel like I kinda got it. I still feel like we're left with this like weird crinkle here, but we're gonna clip it and just clip the blanket all the way until the end. Now that we have all our clips aligned, we can go ahead and flip this over and get to sewing this side. I'm not gonna lie guys, my back is hurting. But we're almost done now, so we can't give up now. Okay, we are reaching our almost last side. Just need to fold this, clip this, sew, and then we'll see what the heck we gotta do to put these edges together. I just want you guys to remember that I am learning with you guys. Yeah, just a discretion. She says for whatever this loose little end we left, we are going to cut like that, I think. So then we're gonna take this end here and tuck it in. I don't understand. So then we're gonna tuck, I still don't understand. Something like, then we're gonna take the rest of our binding. What is going on here? Do that. I don't know if I'm supposed to cut it. I think I am. And then we'll tuck this in, putting that extra binding inside. So I need to cut just a little bit. So then the binding will be able to go under. So I think it's supposed to look something like this. So then I will go ahead and clip.
Once you have a clean looking corner, we can get to sewing. Once that's done, we'll iron out the binding so it'll be easier to flip it to the other side of our blanket and sew it together.
Why do I like so many crafts? It's just... Okay guys, I'm finally on the last part and we are done. No more stitching, no more folding, no more cutting, no more nothing. We are done. Let's push through this and I go to sleep. We are all done. Honestly, I just had to take a second and breathe for a little bit, let my back rest because we've been going at it since the morning. I'm actually very impressed with myself too. It's the first time I ever sew absolutely anything, and just the fact that we were able to complete the project just makes me so proud. I am so happy. I do just need to clean up the edges just a tad, but other than that, we are all finished. Now imagine if our blanket was bigger. Anyways, I just want to say thank you guys so much for crafting with me today. I had so much fun. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!